From across the planet, Recycling Times keeps you in touch with the latest computer printing news.
Hello, I'm David Gibbons and here is the news. New research reveals that most people prefer to read off paper than a computer screen. Ipsos and two industry organisations, Two Sides and Print Power Research, interviewed 4,500 Europeans. 80% say reading from paper is much better than a digital book. 78% say printed paper is more pleasant to handle and touch. And about 63% of Europeans prefer to keep important documents on paper. According to the European Recovered Paper Council, 69% of paper is now recycled. Analysts say that the printing ink market will boom to $18.2 billion in the next 6 years. Global Industry Analysts, or GIA, have released a comprehensive global report. According to this report, the boom will be driven by a growing popularity for environment-friendly inks and relatively new markets such as ultraviolet inkjet inks. The US continues to be the single largest regional market in terms of volume as well as sales. China and India represent the fastest growing ink markets. 200 million cars and 50 million computers are scrapped each year in the US, Europe and Japan, and hundreds of thousands of photocopiers are dumped as well. But one company has been quietly collecting used copiers for the last 20 years, and this year they remanufactured 40,000 of them. EcoStar, which is based in Nanjing, China, collects and rebuilds the copiers in a 29,000 square metre factory by 200 workers and 30 professional technicians. Canon, Xerox, Ricoh, Konica, Sharp and Osei copiers are all introduced back into the offices of emerging economies alongside the EcoStar label. CEO Gordon Gao says his company is reducing thousands of tonnes of landfill every year and is proud of his remanufacturing brand. 6 years ago, one enterprising company decided they wanted to build a better bag for electronic parts. Now, Airbag Packing has just released its third generation design, which has a patented air filling system with non-return valves. Cartridge remanufacturers can purchase the bags flat, slide their finished product into the anti-static black bag, then simply fill it with air for a fully surrounding secure package.
The advantage of the third generation is we have a black PE bag attached to the clear inflatable bag. And this black PE bag can serve as an anti-static function inside the bag.
1 million bags are produced every month for original equipment manufacturers, or OEMs, as well as remanufacturers. Airbag Packing holds 40 bag patents in 5 countries and ships to the USA, Russia, Germany, China, South Korea and South Africa. And I'll be back with more news in just 15 seconds. When you want to know what's going on, where do you go? When you want to do new business confidently, where do you go? You go to the #1 source of news and business. Welcome back, I'm David Gibbons, and in brief, after being in Russia for 7 years, Lexmark will open a regional office in Moscow before Christmas to meet increased demand. An ongoing investigation in Australia now reveals public servants in 41 government departments purchased printer cartridges at high prices in order to receive kickbacks. About $1 million is involved in the printer cartridge scandal. And also in Australia, Fuji Xerox has signed a contract with New South Wales Department of Education and will provide managed print services to 2,200 schools for the next 4 years. After having a presence in more than 60 countries, Cartridge World now is looking for distributors in Africa where more and more people are using personal computers. The Vietnamese government says it is sick of being a dumping ground for used office equipment, including printer cartridges. They may stop the importing of used products and encourage local industries to do the work. And now we go to Charles Brewer. Charlie, in just a minute, I'm interested to know how are things going there in the US market?
Well, David, I think things are starting to soften a little bit. We've seen some data from IDC that shows hardware shipments are down, and I'm hearing reports that supplies are down too. I think really the problem that we're trying to wrestle with in the U.S. is unemployment. Until we start to see job growth, it's going to be tough. And, you know, for the remanufacturing community, it's very difficult now. There's a couple of large players that really dominate the space, and they have difficulties really competing with them. There's a big challenge now to try to get more services, and managed print services will offer some opportunities for certain companies. But I think that the situation overall in the U.S. will be difficult for the foreseeable future. Thanks, David.
Recycling Times Media brings you the news the way you want to receive it. Recycling Times Media brings you the #1 trade show in the world. Recycling Times, #1 for news and business. Thanks, Charles Brewer. Well, that's the news for now, but for breaking news each day, go to www.recyclingtimes.tv. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thanks for watching. See you again next week. I'm David Gibbons.